Peace and love. Hope all is well. Hope you're feeling blessed and safe and high vibrational. Now in this video, we will be connecting with three energies. We will be connecting with the godly trio. And the energies that we have, that we will be connecting with, are pulled from the Keeps of Light Oracle deck by Kyle Gray. We have, I'm going to try to pronounce the name, but I don't really know if I'm pronouncing it correct. But Mahavatar Babaji. We then have the White Eagle, and we also have Melchizedek. Apologies. Really, I just feel that that is kind of confirmation of this energy of God, because every time I pulled the Melchizedek out, he always gives me the energy of God, almost like he represents God or he embodies the energy of God. Now, obviously, when we do these godly trio connections, for me, it's something about the energy of three, the power of three, that when they come together, they are able to express this energy of God, I feel like. And Melchizedek, he comes out a lot in these godly trio connections. And obviously for me, again, he's representing the energy of God, so it makes sense that he comes in these godly trio connections. Now this ancestor spirit, for some reason I was getting the energy like maybe I need to connect with one of my ancestors that, for this particular read, that they may have wisdom. I feel like I'm going to connect with my grandmother, because she was the first person that kind of popped to mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shuffle from the Nature's Whispers Oracle deck, 'cause that's what I was being called to do. And I'm going to just invite my grandmother, Babaji, Melchizedek, into the space. See, it's my grandma, she's already saying, I'm always with you. I'm already with you. I'm a part of you. You're a part of me. It's like she's saying, all you have to do is just call on her name and she's there. And it's not that she's there or that she was never there. It's like call on her name and she'll make her presence known. I feel like for you guys, it's like call on your ancestors' name so that they can make their presence known. They are around you, but they're not going to make you aware of their presence if you don't invite them in, because that can be scary, that can be traumatic, that can bring fear into your life. We have laughter. My grandmother is saying like the connection between yourself and energy doesn't have to be that of fear, of worry. It's like I'm getting the sense that a lot of people, when we go onto our spiritual path, we get scared, we get worried, and she's bringing me to like early stages of even my spiritual path or other people's spiritual path, where we begin to research things about the world and we begin to realize that there is a lot of darkness out there as well as light, but you begin to open your eyes to the real world basically, and not the world that you've been made to believe. She's making me feel like it's for something like shift perspective, because everything doesn't have to be dark. She's saying everything in the world is duality. Everything has light and dark, everything has good and bad, and it's about shifting your perspective and what you choose and how you choose to see the world, what perspective you choose to look at the world from. We can look at it as being scary, or we can make these connections with ourselves, other people, the spirit world, energy, the real world, and we can look at it in that of a higher vibration, if that makes sense. She's like saying, be on the path of light, be on the path of love. Well, yes, because this card says, ancestor spirit, connect to your lineage. A family wound or pattern can be healed now. It's like so much can be healed when you connect with your lineage, when you connect with your ancestors, when you allow them allow them to assist you in your growth, in your healing, in your ascension. For some reason, it's like, for some reason, it's almost like she's saying we would laugh if we saw them. If the energetic world was made visible to us, we would laugh. And it's almost like, again, she's saying it's not as scary as you think, or as scary as people think. For some reason, it's like there's nothing to be afraid of. You would laugh if you saw us. It's kind of what I feel. Now we then have Babaji. Let's see what card comes out for his energy. I just saw him kind of, not flick his hair, but like just do this with his hair. We have intuition, you are worth it. And this kind of makes sense with the intuition card coming out. And it says, your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connectedness between all things. He's saying the mind is that of importance. But for some reason, with this you are worth it, I feel like there's something to do with the hair. The hair and the mind and the crown chakra. Okay, makes sense. Because what I was seeing, it was like nourishment of the hair. Like, I was getting the sense, what I needed to say was, we need to be taking care of our hair, obviously, but not just that, it's about nourishing it and giving our hair the right vitamins. And the reason why that was coming up was it was being connected to the crown chakra. Now being brought to the third eye chakra as well, but more to the crown chakra, because it's like the same way that we can ground through our root chakra, we can also ground by our feet, by placing our feet on the earth. There's something about like knowledge or information or consciousness going through the hair into the crown chakra. And I feel like I've pulled something on that before about hair and how information is downloaded from people with bald heads. But it's saying like, take care of the hair. And if you look at this card, this intuition card, and we're talking about nourishment and the crown chakra, there's flowers all over this individual's crown chakra. And it's being illuminated, it's buzzing, it's growing. And if you can see how this individual is playing with her hair. And her hair is connecting her to this lotus flower, to the universe, to consciousness. For some reason, I'm being brought to like a veil that the hair is responsible for. I'm getting a big link with hair and consciousness. And that hair is significant in consciousness. And not just hair, but either having hair and not having hair. Both are significant. Melchizedek is saying that hair represents certain characteristics of a person. And what I'm being brought to with this is like white hair. Okay, not only does it represent wisdom and divinity, it represents like divine protection. I'm being shown like old people or elderly people with white hair, but in my mind I'm saying to energy, but they are vulnerable people, and the world sees them as vulnerable people. And energy is saying that the world is looking at them from a physical point of view and comparing them to children or people that are more able-bodied, but your hair is a symbol of, well, okay, what they're saying is, okay, that makes sense. Because they're showing me, like, not showing what they're saying, being protected by white light. Being protected by white light. Your hair being white, that is protection for your crown chakra. That is protection for the crown chakra. It's almost like negative energy bounces off the hair. They also say, why do you think like elderly people are stuck in their ways when you try to change them, when you try to make them see things differently, when you try to force them to change or just to expand with the times or be a bit more modern? Why do you think they're stuck in their ways? Because they have this seed of protection around their crown chakra that protects their essence, protects who they've become. They're saying like we can always change no matter our age, but when you get to a certain level, there is an importance in you holding your life experience, you holding memories of the past, because if you don't hold them and you don't keep them within you, then stories, lessons, teachings that are necessary can get lost. They're saying that the only true, authentic way to keep knowledge or wisdom or past events alive is via people and the transfer of information via the expression of emotion. More, and this card says, you have learned from experience. More inner study is now required to further progress. Basically, that's kind of confirming what I just said about the only way we can really learn from that of the past, from that of history, is via people and the documentation of our memories, of our experiences. Elderly people are able to give us a lot of wisdom and teach us a lot because they have been through many decades. They've been through maybe World War or apartheid, just other things that affect us on a global level, on a collective level. And I apologise if you can hear any noise in the background. I'm on the park, so there are children playing. And I think I forgot to mention this, but on this channel I also channel the energies of Mother Gaia, some ascended masters, some celebrity energies, and the 12 signs of the zodiac. If you're looking for personal, the information is down below in the description box. Okay, now we're just gonna pull a few cards. I feel them kind of not gathering, but I'm being shown like a triangle in my mind. So I'm guessing and assuming that they are now position themselves at the triangle. Some of you are probably not aware, but with this godly trio, the energy of 3 that I was mentioning before, they each take a position of a triangle. So one's at the top of the triangle, one's here and one's here. And really that just represents like mind, body, spirit, or just mind, body and expression. And they put their collective message in the middle, 1414 on the clock. They put what they want to express in the middle, and that's then channeled down into me. That's just the imagery that energy shows me or explains. That's how they explain it to me. So let's see what messages they have collectively to say, to express from the Nature's Whispers Oracle deck. The big picture, pause. That kind of makes sense already. It's like, wait a minute. I want to say, can you see what's happening? Can you see where we're heading? Can you see where we're growing? Can you see how your individual light affects the world, affects the way you see the world or the way people see the world? Can you see how you expressing yourself, giving yourself, affects the world? There's a sense of needing to ground. They're saying to see change, sometimes we need to pause. to see the difference, sometimes we need to pause. They also say to feel the hurt, sometimes we need to pause. It's like, look at the world. Okay, they're saying that many are desensitized to the world. Many are desensitized to what's going on. Many are not even aware or don't feel what's going on, and they need to pause. They're saying that there's so much distraction that life continues to move, and nobody, just because life moves doesn't mean we can't take a moment to pause and contemplate what's going on if life is moving in the right direction for all of us, if life is smooth for all of us, if this is the reality that we want to experience and want to live. There's something about the world growing there and blossoming. And the more that we are giving ourselves to each other, the more that we are expressing ourselves authentically, the more the world is blossoming. I get this sense, because they're saying some of you need to close your eyes, tap into source energy, and expel. Expel to expand. Expel to expand. It's that is so weird, because it's like, because normally, like, I wouldn't obviously have my grandmother in the godly trio, and for a second it's like my mind went to this being the individual that I'm channeling, but then my grandma popped back in my mind, was like I can't believe I'm here, I can't believe I'm doing this. Okay, I'm sorry, it makes sense to me, because 18 on the clock, I just realised that I've not connected or channeled any of my ancestors on YouTube for anybody, or if that makes sense. This is the first time, and obviously she's in the godly trio. Oh, sorry, that makes so much sense. Because basically my grandma was a very religious woman when she was here in the physical world. She heavily believed in God, in Christ, in the Bible. I just feel that this is a big thing for her, or like a big opportunity. And it's about understanding. She's saying like I'm sorry, this isn't really about anybody else, but she's saying that her understanding shifted and changed, and in her doing this, she's growing and expanding. And it's something about it still helping her understanding, or her perception of what it means to be God, or what God is, or the expression of God. She's letting me know that on earth she didn't realize that we can all express or even embody the energy of God. But it's about connecting to the heart, because what I just got as well, she didn't say it but I felt it, was that we can all express the energy of each other. We can all embody each other's energy, and it's almost like mirroring, but in order to really connect with somebody, to really express their emotion authentically, with it being filtered through your being, you must connect to your heart. And in connecting to your heart, you're then able to connect to the other person's heart. And that's where this ability to be able to express that energy comes from. Now, when it comes to God, she's saying that you don't need to connect to God's heart, you just have to connect to your heart, because God is that of everything, and you are part of this world, you are part of everything, therefore God is within you, therefore God is a part of you, therefore you don't need to tap into anybody else's heart to tap into the energy of God, to express the energy of God. You just have to tap into your own heart. And it's also about having a sense of knowing. For some reason it's almost like she didn't have a sense of knowing. like she didn't have a sense of knowing of her true self or her self in relation to the universe. I want to say. I'm sorry that I'm talking about like kind of personal things, but it came up for a reason. Celebrate differences. What I feel is that we're all one and the same. Is what the godly trio is saying. They're bringing me back to mirroring people's behavior. And now they're saying that mirroring and embodying somebody is different. Which makes sense, you know, mirroring, you're just copying somebody's behavior, embodying them. It's like almost like you are becoming them, you are embracing their essence. They're saying it's important that we don't reflect people's darkness onto them. There's something about, yes, there's something about like protecting ourselves energetically and putting seals of protection around us and having people's energy not affect us. But for some reason, energy saying don't reflect people's negative energy back onto them. Something about that still has like an element of karma to it. Still has an element of negative intention coming from your side. For some reason, it's like celebrate differences. Sometimes it's not that people are trying to be horrible or that they're trying to be nasty or send you negative energy. Sometimes they just don't understand the differences between two people. Sometimes they don't know how to communicate. And just saying, if we celebrated differences, if we celebrated that sometimes that that we all come in different shades of brown, or we all come with different levels of masculinity or femininity, we would be able to see each other in each other if we celebrated these differences, because we would realize that these differences are all within us. They're just parts of us that don't need to be expressed in this lifetime, this time around. That's kind of what I'm feeling from that. Okay. Let's have one more card. And then I think I'm going to close my eyes and channel a message from the Godly Trio for June 2021. See what message they have to give. Expansion. I love when energy does this, because I wasn't going to express the message, but I was seeing this cycle, this spiral. And again, it's just going back to the more we celebrate differences, the more the earth's going to transform, the more that we're going to transform, the more that we're going to see each other, not in just one another, but see each other in the animal kingdom. If you can see how this individual and this dolphin are almost looking at each other eye to eye, and then this horse and this individual are kind of both sleeping, both not sleeping, but one's sleeping, one's got their eyes turned away. It's like we're all one and the same. No one's more important. We all mirror each other. We all embody each other. Now they bring me to the fact that you even see animals mirror, especially in dogs. You stare a dog in the eye, the dog stares at you back. You growl at a dog, the dog growls at you back. You walk somewhere, the dog walks somewhere. It's just, they show me animals mirroring as well, animals embodying humans as well. It's about, we need to stop seeing things as being separate and realize the interconnectedness of all things. And that makes sense, because that's where that came out. You understand the connectedness between all things. And 555, on the clock. Okay. I don't know why, but I just heard Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, and I don't know why, but even though there's only one person on this deer, I was seeing Adam and Eve staring up at this individual, and it's almost like it's representing God, and for some reason I'm getting when Eve bit the apple, she betrayed herself. And I don't know why, but it just feels like because she betrayed herself, and this is metaphorical, it's using a story to give a lesson or a teaching. Because she betrayed herself, she betrayed the universe. Because she betrayed herself, she betrayed everybody else. Now, this is just from looking at the story from one particular perspective of she did bite the apple, for her own greed. But it's that she betrayed herself, but because she's connected to everything, and it's like she understood who she was and the lessons that were going to come from biting the apple, or the teachings that was going to come from her role in biting the apple. Okay. Right, I'm just going to pick up the card that just flew over there, and then we're going to close our eyes and bring forward a message from the Godly Trio. 2 moments. Okay. Okay. I am the master. You are the master. We all are the master. We are all going to pass one day. We are all going to transform one day. We all dream. We all cry. We all have a physical body, mental, emotional bodies. We are all the same, just expressing ourselves differently, just embodying different characteristics of one another. It's important that we begin to understand the interconnectedness of all things. It's important that we understand that the stars shine to remind you of your home. It's important that we realize that the sun beams for you to feel the love that you give. The warmth of the sun is the collective love of the planet being radiated back to you. The children of Earth are as important as ever, are needed, are necessary. The adults around these children are just as important, if not even more important, in the shaping of the future, in the teaching of knowledge and wisdom. It's important that we pass down memories, events of the past, authentically and truthfully down to our young, so that events are not lost, so that tragedies are not repeated, so that heartache is not experienced for no reason. It's important that we stay accessing the well of emotion that we have all been blessed with. We've all been blessed with the capability and capacity to be able to store and feel and express emotions. This ability to express, store and feel emotions is an integral part of the human experience. This storing, this expressing, this sharing of emotions is what keeps truth alive. It's important that we don't close off our well to emotions, that we don't start feeling things so deeply and intensely, that we don't become fearful of what it means to truly be sensitive in this world, to be empathic in this world, to be a seer in this world. It's important to stay being yourself, to know that you are unique, that you are special, but in the same breath you are the same and as basic as everybody else, but you are special and divine and a blessing to earth and mankind. But everybody is a blessing. So everybody's insignificant, but everybody's mighty and significant and important and necessary and needed. It's about understanding your divinity, but understanding your interconnectedness, understanding how special you are, but understanding that you're not no more important than a grain of sand or a stem of grass. You are you, and you are birthing creations. Your thoughts are birthing creations. Your thoughts are birthing manifestations. Your love is potent, is necessary, is needed, is wanted, is welcomed by the earth, by Gaia. You must want more for yourself. You must want better for yourself and your brothers and sisters on earth. When we say more, we don't mean in terms of materialistic things. We mean more in terms of love, more in terms of understanding and overstanding. But let's talk quickly on materialism. There's a notion that one that is spiritual cannot have no wanting of anything material. That is not true. You are a human being in the human world on earth. And everything that is on earth is part of the human experience. Therefore, every human can and has the option to experience that of a luxury car, that of nice shoes, that of a nice house. One doesn't have to be in a state of lack to be spiritual. One doesn't have to be without nice things to be spiritual. It's about the mentality of the individual that has these nice things. It's about their perspective on the world, not the fact that they are driving a Lamborghini. You know, one can drive a Lamborghini and understand that that Lamborghini is worthless, maybe priceless, but it's also worthless, that it's meaningless, that it doesn't really say much about one's character. And this individual can drive that car knowing that and being completely connected to who they are on a spiritual level. But equally, somebody can have the same car and think that this car is literally their life force. And they can be completely disconnected to who they are. But it's about perception and perspective and shifting that. But collective. I thank you for joining, for listening, for being present with Benji, Naphtali. I send you gratitude and thanks. Peace and love. that was slightly different. That was like, I think the first time I've opened my eyes drawing, channeling a message. And it kind of just happened. But I thank you for joining me and being present with me. I send you my gratitude. I send my gratitude to the guides, to energy, to, let's try and get this right, Mahavatar Babaji, White Eagle, aka Grandma, and Melchizedek. Peace and love. Ashe.